we definitely, excited to be facing this British and Irish Lions SA side. In terms of the preparation point of view, I think it would be a great build-up going to the Test series. I think we lost out on the Georgia game last week, which was part of our preparations for the series. So yeah, we're definitely taking this game massive and serious for the series ahead of us.
When he announced the side yesterday, Rassie said that he didn't feel there was a lot of gelling that needed to happen, but more a case of match fitness and match readiness. 5 of your backline started in the Rugby World Cup final. So has it been... Sorry, I think somebody needs to mute there. Is it a case of picking up where you left off as a group at World Cup, especially amongst this backline combination?
Yes, man. I think there's a lot of experience in the backline that we have. We've shown it in the past, and we know what we are capable of. But yeah, it's been a very long time since we've played together as a group. So for us, I think each game or each opportunity to try to prepare for this series, we take it very importantly.
And what's Morné Steyn's excitement level like?
I think Moras is one of the old heads in the group. He's got a lot of experience, behind his belt, and we all are very excited, playing for tomorrow's game and what's lying ahead for the series.
Thanks, Rayon. I'll come back to a question for Mzwandile, but
thank you very much, Matthew Pierce and Daniel Schofield. Good afternoon.
Hi, gents. A question for both of you. There's obviously some very distressing and disturbing images of rioting around South Africa. I don't know if sport feels less important to you guys at the moment, or in a way more important than this, and whether this Lion series is a chance to hopefully put smiles back on people's faces and give them a bit of hope during a pretty turbulent time.
Yeah, Daniel, you know what, we are actually living in a very sad time currently with what we see on social medias, and also when it comes to the news on TV. And I think that is actually one of the main reasons what we live for as a Springbok team. We just want to put a smile on the people's face, and we just want to give them hope. And I will never forget the images, on the streets after we won the World Cup, where everyone, pink, black, white, brown, yellow, where everyone in the streets were only just speaking one language, which is the rugby language. And everyone was happy at that time. So those are the moments that we want to create in South Africa. Those are the hope that's the kind of hope we want to build. We are, with everything that we see now currently that is happening, it is very, very sad. And but once again, our job is to make sure that if we can get an opportunity as a Springbok team to unite the country and put the smile on the people's face, that is what we live for. So hopefully we can do that by getting an opportunity to play against the British and Irish Lions. We can just show the people of South Africa, once we work together, and start spreading some positive energy amongst each other. Anything is possible. We can achieve anything as a country. And once again, hopefully we can put the smiles on the people's face tomorrow, and hopefully we can just make sure that we get people united behind the team, and also making sure that everything that is happening, hopefully it will stop soon.
And a slightly more logistical question. Obviously, Rassie was talking about trying to get a second game with South Africa A versus the Lions. Is there any progress on that as far as you're aware? And there's potential reports that the Bulls may step in if you can't get that Lions game?
Like Lukhanyo mentioned earlier on, any chance we get, any opportunity we get as a team, where we can get tighter and get closer to what we want to be. We're not where we were, for example, if you have to go back to 2019, in the World Cup final, I think we still got a lot of room for improvement, and any opportunity we can get as a team to make sure that we get some practice games towards the series, we will surely appreciate it. So when it comes to the decision on the warm-up game, on the practice game against the British and Irish Lions, I think we as coaches, we're just focusing on coaching what's between the four lines, and then we let that role, the executive with Rassi as a director, they are dealing with that stuff. And at the moment, we haven't had any report back from them. But yeah, once again, if we get an opportunity to play on Saturday, irrespective of it's a British and Irish Lions, because I already see there's also rumors about us playing against the Bulls. Any opportunity we get as a team, we will make sure that we take it. And then hopefully we'll get closer to where we want to be when it comes to the first test series game against the British and Irish Lions.
Thank you, Stick. Thank you, Daniel. Kaito Low, you up next.
Good afternoon, gents. Lukhanyo, just a question. Rassi said a concern for him is the match readiness or match fitness yesterday, even though the 3 weeks was intense in Bloemfontein, but then you were in isolation for a bit. How do you feel about your match fit readiness, and what in that 7 days could you do to make sure you are, firing and ready to go when you eventually got back to training?
Yeah, Kito, I think we couldn't do much, in terms of the last or the 6 days of quarantine that we were in. In terms of the physical readiness, the most you could do is probably stretch and do, the basic workouts, in your room. But in terms of the mental side, I think we did a lot of preparation on Zoom meeting and analysis and and video works on the phones and laptops, and that's pretty much the preparation that we could do. But I think on the other hand, I think we'd go into this game quite fresh in terms of bodies, and maybe with guys that had niggles, I think they had enough time to recover on that. But in terms of the physical side, we'll have to see where we're at, tomorrow. But as a team, we'll definitely give our best, and we'll try and push as much as we can.
Thank you, Lukhanyo. Ken Boland.
Thanks, John. Good afternoon, Lukhanyo and Mzwandile. Mzwandile, we've seen the British and Irish Lions have looked very potent out wide. They've scored a lot of tries through their back three, but at times it also seems like they might be a bit vulnerable out there. Do you believe those wider channels are going to be like a really one of the most crucial areas of this series coming up?
Yeah, if you look at the balance in their side, most especially with the outside backs, they've got very, very quick players out there. If you look at a guy like Zamet, at the moment, everyone is rating him. Everyone talks about him being one of the quickest rugby players in the world, and you've got Duan, who's really, really on form, playing very well. And we know, very, very physical guy. But once again, if you know what, that is actually what we stand for also as a Springbok team. We want to play against the best. The challenge that is lying ahead of us, it's something that we enjoy as South Africans. And once again, we are just looking forward, to get an opportunity. And as you've mentioned, in those wider channels, if you look at those guys, the amount of tries they've been scoring in the wider channels. So that is actually going to be something that we're going to have to be at our best on a day, comes tomorrow. But once again, we've got the players that have done the job before for us. If you get a guy like Spoongosi, you look at Cheslin Kobe, I don't know, the gentleman at the moment is probably winning at everything that is in front of him, playing for Toulouse, where he's been doing very well since the World Cup and the championship we won in 2019. But once again, like I said, I think for us as a Springbok now, it's not about what we have done in the past. It's time for us to write a new scripture, in our journey. So once again, we're just looking forward to that opportunity. And you can't ask for any better side like the British and Irish Lions, and you look at the quality that they've got, like I've mentioned the other names earlier on, you've got Watson also at the back. So we are going to be challenged, but yeah, that is what we stand for. We're looking forward to that challenge.
Thank you, Stocker. And Nathan, you up next, please. Thank you.
I'm just going to ask one closer question and one English question. English question now is for Buddha Stick. Buddha Stick, Gogs. You've seen.
Why you don't ask closer to me?
Buddha Stick, I asked you last week in
No, I'm joking.
Buddha Stick, Gogs, man. You've seen the Lions play against the Japanese and against the domestic sides. Are there any areas that you've identified as you could possibly exploit for tomorrow's game, and then obviously for next week when we play the 3 tests?
Yeah, first things first, let's talk about their strengths. If you look at their game, like I said, they've got a very well-balanced team when it comes to the physical side of the game. And also the balance now is the fact that they've got X-factor players also. If you look at a guy like Bandiaki, you look at Biga at 10, who's also very physical, but can also manage the game very well. And with the outside backs, when they get an opportunity, where those guys are very, very dangerous out wide. So for me, unfortunately, I won't be able to say to you now, these are much weaknesses that they've got because of, once again, you're playing against the best of the best in Europe. We're talking about for each and every position. They've got about 4 best possible selections that they can select in any position. So it's going to be difficult for us to say, okay, these are the weaknesses that they've got. That shows us on a day we're going to have to be at our best in all the departments of the game to be able to win against them. And yeah, it's a massive series for us. And once again, I think the team that is going to adapt the most in the game, and the team that's going to take their opportunities and execute their plan very well, they've got a better chance to win on the day. So if we rock up on a day where we don't pitch up from the first whistle to the last one, I think we will have a long day. So we're going to have to make sure we're at our best in all those departments and make sure that we play for 80 minutes.
Thank you. Nathan, if I can ask if you can keep your Xhosa question for later on, I'll make provision for that. Thank you. Simon Rickert, you're up next.
Hi, Ryan. Thank you. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Mzwandile, we talking about Springboks here, but technically we're actually having South Africa A against the British and Irish Lions on tomorrow night. But nevertheless, wasn't this ample opportunity for the selectors and for you as management to get hold of the more fringe players, to get them into exposing themselves and getting themselves obviously the opportunity to show what they did, instead of selecting 18 Rugby World Cup winners? And also, I've also read in your press release that you've got guys like Joseph Dweba and Nicholas Janssen van Rensburg also still to be confirmed from the 10 replacements who will actually be played. But the gist of my question is, wasn't this ample opportunity some time ago to rake in these fringe players that are knocking on the door of the Springbok selection?
Yeah, Simon, you know what? The question that you are asking, it depends on the angle of how you see it. And from your side, I can see you talking about giving the other guys an opportunity also. There are two ways to look at it. It's also working towards the first test match against the British and Irish Lions. So once again, opportunities, and also an opportunity for us to get game fit. So at the moment, as you can see, it's a bit of a challenge for us to get another warm-up game. So we just want to make sure that even the guys that are also going to play that first test match, they do have some game time behind their backs. So once again, the key thing with us, as you can see, is that yes, we did manage to select other guys to give them opportunities, the likes of Dweba you've mentioned, and a guy like Nicholas on the bench, and if you look at the guys at the back, Spunkos hasn't played in a while, so those are the guys that are also, I'm excited to see them playing in this game, which is the opportunity that you're talking about, But once again, I think our biggest goal is to make sure that we are working towards that first test match, where even the guys that we had in the World Cup also they've got good couple of minutes behind their back. You're looking at a guy like Lukhanyo and Faf, they didn't play the last game we played against Georgia, so it was about time also to give them time to be on the field, where they can get some couple of minutes in a game. So once again, from our side, it's all about giving them some game time. And then I think from your angle, it's giving the other youngsters some opportunity. So either way, we're both going to benefit in all those players.
Thank you, Coach Stick. Sibusiso, you're up next.
Hi, thanks, Rayon. Got a question for Lukhanyo and Stick, and I'll join in with the Xhosa opportunity later as well, please. Lukhanyo, just a word on captaining this team. It's an SAA side, but you're leading Springboks here. How have you taken that on? What can we see from your leadership? May more or the same of what you've seen at the Sharks? And Coach Stick, if you can throw in a word on Sibungosi, whom you just mentioned, going up against Reece Zamet, and Ngosi's not played a lot, didn't feature a lot in the World Cup. The two men are up there with the fastest men in the world. What can we expect from that tussle as a former backline player yourself?
Okay, I think for me leading the side, I think this means a great deal to me. I think being selected as captain and having experienced players who has more than 50 Springbok caps, it's really special. And I think going out there as a young leader in the national colours, I think I've got so much backing and support from our teammates. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow's game. I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, Sbu, I think once again, like I've mentioned earlier on, if you look at the team and you look at a guy like Reece Zamet, he is very quick, and at the moment he's doing well. They've got a good, they had some good couple of warm-up games and they've been scoring good tries. And like I said, if you look at the players that we've got with Sibungosi has been there before. We know what he can do. We know what he can offer, but it depends again. If we give him space, for example, a guy like Reece Zamet, if you give him space, he will punish you. Do you understand? That is why the level where we are playing currently is called a test match. You're gonna get tested, and that's actually what we are looking forward to it. And unfortunately, I can't answer on behalf of Sbu, but I know one thing for sure: Sbu will be ready for the game. And once again, we know Sbu's strengths also, which is I'm not gonna go deep on it. But once again, I'm just looking forward to those battles. Sbu getting an opportunity. We know how he is. And a guy like Cheslin Kobe, it looks like at the moment there's nothing that he can't do. Kobe, I'm not too sure about moving him to prop, but if you see at Toulouse, there were a couple of times where at kickoff receiving the guy, they were lifting him to receive the kickoff, it was very funny for me, but he's doing it very well. And you saw the drop goal that he kicked, also from the halfway line, about 51 meters. So once again, this is going to be a massive series. For those guys. And I know one thing for sure, our players are also excited for that opportunity.
Thank you, Coach Stick. We move on, and Heinz Schenk, you're up next.
Hi guys, Mzwandile. Sorry if I'm putting you a bit on the spot here. I think no one doubts that the Springboks really want to go out and really perform at their best in this game. But just given the circumstances, and I know Rassie has said previously that lack of match fitness isn't supposed to be an excuse, but how important, given the broader picture of a test match coming up, and peaking at the right time, how important is a result in this game?
I think for us, it's a SAA game, and for the British and Irish Lions, I don't know how they look at the angle of the game, but for us, it's a SAA game, and the most important thing for us is to make sure that we get better from where we left against Georgia. There are certain things that we put in place. I'm talking about the system now of how we want to play the game. So there are certain things that we really want to test. There are certain boxes that we really want to tick, talking about how we approach the game, how we start the game. If you look at the game against Georgia, where we actually the first 20 to 30 minutes where we didn't start very well. And for a side like Georgia, they really gave us a good challenge physically wise. And that is exactly what we expect from the British and Irish Lions, So the most important thing for us is to make sure that we keep chasing that 80-minute performance, And once again, we can't afford to switch off when you play against a top quality side like the British and Irish Lions. Like the names I've mentioned to you, you give them a sniff opportunity, they will take it, they will punish you. So to build towards the first test match, we're gonna have to make sure that we get better from where we left against Georgians, and hopefully the guys will pitch up from the first whistle.
Thank you very much. And Liam, you're up next.
Good afternoon, gents. My question is for Mzwandile, and it relates to not so much match preparation, but I mean, there's no doubt that a lot of effort and energy is being spent into just getting the Springboks onto the field. There's lots of protocols. There's some do's and there's a lot of don'ts. Does that, in a way, compromise the time that you get to do sort of very specific match detail and sink your teeth into what you need to do under normal circumstances when you prepare for a big game? Do you feel that for tomorrow's game in particular, do you feel that you've done enough?
Yeah, what a good question, But once again, like I said, we live in a challenging times, You don't know what your tomorrow like, because of every day we test, we try to comply and live by the protocols of the pandemic, So from our side, the most important thing is to be able to adapt to all the challenges that we're facing. And there's no better way to answer your question than just to make sure that we simplify the plan. That's the most important thing, because of, once again, we've missed about 6 days last week when we didn't get an opportunity to go to training field. So we don't want to overload the information to the players. We don't want to overload them with a lot of stuff. So what we have done as a coaching staff, we try to make sure, with our leadership group, to simplify things, and focus on the things that we do well. So once again, hopefully we can execute that plan, and then I'll probably be able to answer you proper when I come back next week in a media conference, if Ryan is still happy with me to this media conference. So I'll be able to help to answer you with that if we manage to execute our plan. But the biggest thing for us is to simplify that plan, and hopefully our players will be able to execute it.
Thanks.
Thank you very much, Coach Stick and Liam. And we're going to Mark Gleeson, and then we finish off the English section with Matthew Pierce. But Mark, good afternoon and welcome.
Thank you, gents. Good afternoon. Lukhanyo, I've seen you with your autograph book outside the Sundowns change room at Moses Mabhida. So I'm not sure which team you support, but what chances do you think Kaizer Chiefs have in the Champions League final on Saturday night?
Makosi, now the support is there. I think they've done pretty well to get where they are. So I'll call it for the Kaizer Chiefs.
Coach Stick, you want to add to that?
Yeah, I'm a Kosi for life now. So my heart is with them, and I fully support them. And if you think about it now, it's not about time to think about Sundowns or Pirates or whatever. We are representing South Africa as the Kaizer Chiefs, and you can't ask for any better brand, when it comes to football than the Kaizer Chiefs, So once again, for this week, Lukhanyo is with us now. He's also a Kosi for life. So all the best to Kaizer Chiefs, and hopefully they'll make us proud. Once again, we need good news as South Africans.
Mark Gleeson, I'll leave that football debate where it is. And I'll go over to Matthew Pierce. Hello, Matthew.
Thanks, Ray. Stocker, just with regard to the bench, when are you going to make a final decision on who the 8 players of the 10 that were named on the bench? When will a final decision be made, and what is potentially influencing that decision? And then just a second part to the question for you is, given the makeup of this SAA side with a lot of experienced and World Cup winning Springboks, is there a sense of a bit of cat and mouse here? You don't want to give too much away against the Lions as an SAA team, given the makeup of the side. Thanks, Tom.
Yeah, Matt, I think at the moment from where I am sitting, I could probably able to give you 90% of the bench, and let's say probably that 10%. Remember, this COVID testing thing is a daily thing for us, So we just want to make sure that all the guys that were cleared when we left Joburg, they are actually 100% negative, where medical wise they are fit to play the game. So if I had to give you a good answer on that, a guy like, for example, Herschel Jantjies at the back, he will probably be on the bench. I know maybe this is not something that I'm supposed to be doing, because it's Rassi's job as a director to announce the full 23. But a guy, we know some of the players that are on the bench. So the other guys that we didn't announce on the bench, those were the players that we had to wait for medical report, where they are fully cleared to play the game. Then we can be able to announce that bench. But from my side, probably where I'm sitting, I know 90% of the bench.
Thank you, Coach Dick. Matthew, thank you very much. And thank you. We circle back then in conclusion of this media conference this afternoon. We go back to Nathan for your question in COSA, please. Thank you. I think Nathan has dropped off. We can't hear you. We go over then to Sabu. You can go ahead, Sabu.
Thanks, Ray. My questions are both for Lukhanyo. Lukhanyo, lo mbuzo bebuziwe kuStokololo ngentoba indima enidlalayo elizweni apha eMzantsi Afrika ngenxa yesimo sikuso. Abantu abathile bathi mayipheliswe le tour, makubekwe phantsi ii-tools ngoba kuyaliwa phandle. Nithi nina sidlale kungadlalwa, and indima yenu yokulifta ke imudi yoMzantsi Afrika ithini? Uphinde ke undiphe ke kancinci kwinto ebithethwe nguJeremy Gascott phesheya esithi akho zandla kule midfield yenu noDamian Dialende. I-Springboks zidlala nje ngee-forwards. Bunophendula uthini babu phambi kwakhe?
Makabukele rugby World Cup final Lucas Scott. Akayabukela la final again, abone kula tape bazikhona izandla abanye azikho.
Yeah, so I think the tournament the series into enkulu kakhulu, and umbhoxo siyazi udlala indima enkulu apha ekhantrini yethu, and nasekuhlaleni kwindawo esisuka kuzo. And I think sibone indala sayibona indima edlalwayo si-sport kwi-community zethu. And I think kweli xesha kunzima, singayenza indima positive enobuyisela emva sinetha phakathi ekuhlaleni. So ubunzulu kweluqhankqalazo lwenzekayo bendingalilandeli kakhulu, kodwa zikhona into bendizibona kumabonakude. But from nice umdlali, ndinqwenela uba iqhubekeke itournament, nathi sidlale indima esikwazi udlala ngohlobo esikwazi ngalo kokudlala kombhoxo. I-comments zawuthi nabantu baninzi abantu abane-opinions zabo ngohlobo bayibukela ngayo ibhola, and thina singamabhokobhoko sinohlobo lwethu esudlala ngawo umbhoxo olusisebenzelayo, besingenotshintsha okanye sidlale uhlobo esixelelwa ngumntu wonke ngaphandle akho, ngoba wonke umntu nohlobo lwakho othanda ubukela ngalo ibhola, nohlobo lwakho odlala ngalo ibhola. But ke ndakuthembisa siyi-team, I think siyi-team enazo zonke ii-tools zodlala uhlobo esifuna udlala ngalo, kodwa thina sikhetha udlala uhlobo esifuna udlala ngalo kwinto elusisebenzela.
Ndicela nje uthi chatha udibana kwakho noDamian kunjani? Nigqibelene kudala, nikhumbulene?
Libe lide elithuba usukela kwindebe yehlabathi, kodwa senele sivuyisene sisonke uba sikwazi ubizo sizomela ilizwe lethu sodlalela amabhokobhoko. So sivuya kakhulu sisonke, ndithi kwaba balapha eMzantsi Afrika bedlala kwi-franchise zabo naba baphesheya ababuyileyo, besivuya kakhulu uba sikwazi udibana sibe sekampini sonke.
Thank you very much. if I don't see Nathan, then that then conclude our press conference for this afternoon. Thank you to the gentleman at the top table, Lukhanyo. All of the best for leading the team tomorrow in the Cape Town Stadium, and to Coach Stocker. Thanks, ladies and gents. Our next media event then will be the post-match press conference tomorrow afternoon after the game. Thank you and stay safe.
Thanks, James. Good luck. Okay. Yeah. What? Because we've got enough from these things. Yeah. Oh, that again. Gee, that's irritating, yes? Yeah, printer. Thanks so much.
Over. Well, 30 volts so far, we're making in there as well.